Good morning. All right, today is the day one of this very silly challenge, eating only potatoes, carrots, broccoli, and chicken um, for 30 days. I am doing chicken breast, and I'm also doing ground turkey. I did a mix there. I just was worried about not having enough fat since I'm not doing olive oil. You're supposed to do, I think, 1 tablespoon of olive oil per meal. But I can cook without it. So I'm adding the fat in with ground turkey. I'm doing a mix of 99% lean ground turkey and 94%. It's like a 75% lean, 25% 96.4, 94.6. I don't remember, but anyway, the leaner turkey, the middle lean turkey. So here we are, day one. I have meal prepped everything for this week. I am in a very busy season work wise, and I just don't want to have to think about cooking, thinking about planning meals. I just want it to be very autopilot. And because work is so busy right now and I'm stressed out about it, my normal tendency during these work planning seasons or a proposal season is, if I'm having to work late at night, I have to bribe myself to do so. And so I will go out and get a pizza at a restaurant and work on my laptop at the restaurant. And that's like my deal with myself. I get something special. It's gotten pretty bad lately where I will be working at a coffee shop. Because I work remotely, I will usually go to a coffee shop every day, get my coffee, and then that gets me in the zone for work. If I stay at home, it's a little bit harder to focus. So that's just my normal routine. But I have been getting chocolate at the coffee shop in the middle of the day with like a second cup of a decaf Americano with half and half, and a chocolate or 2 pieces of chocolate from the coffee shop to bribe myself to do like the afternoon work, because I'm just kind of spent after the intense morning meetings. And like, chocolate's fine, but bribing myself to do work every day is not fine. And I can feel it in my body. I just can feel my body is unhappy with what's going on. And I've worked so hard to lose weight, gain muscle over the past year. Where are we now? Over a year, almost 2 years, I guess. That I just, like, with the perimenopause, you can't let things go for very long before you start seeing the ramifications around your waistline. And like, my sleep is worse now. It's taken me a long time to fall asleep, and before my sleep was really good. So there's just all these things. I can feel my body is not happy with me. And I have a long way to go with this work planning. We have like a month before we submit the final versions. So I'm not willing to spend a month, doing these sort of bad habits that get me through stressful times. I just can't afford it anymore. So I don't like fad diets. I don't do them. I much prefer just eating healthily and like taking the long road, knowing that if I'm eating healthy and moving, then over time a longer time period, like a year, you will have results. So not being worried about trying to get six pack abs in 30 days. And I think that served me well. I'm like strong. I have a good muscle base. But I just have currently like a couple layers of fat over that muscle base. And I don't like the way it looks, but it's metabolically active, and increasing my insulin insensitivity, and has all these like downstream really negative effects. And the last time I tested, I was pre-diabetic. So I don't have a lot of runway before there'll be some major negative health consequences. My mother died at 52 of cancer, and I'm 42 right now. And I'm unwilling to leave my children in 10 years. They won't even be 20. So I have a very strong why for the health. I enjoy being healthy. And I exercise consistently. But food, I really like eating. I just love eating. And eating is my way to manage my stress. And I have a stressful job. So my hope is that doing this for 30 days will reteach my brain and my like mouth how to eat for fuel rather than for stress management. We're currently staying at my dad's house. We're visiting out of the country, and it is hard because he's got all these treats at his house and things that I would just not keep in my cupboard because I know I don't want to eat it. It's around, and I have been eating it. And now that I'm doing this for 30 days, it will be around, and I will just have to learn how to not eat it. Just turn that part of my brain off that's always negotiating with myself, like, well, but I want this thing, and like, oh, it's Sunday, or we're going to watch a movie, or whatever. Just negotiation is off because I'm just eating 4 things. So I really hope it'll help sort of reset my baseline for like pleasure in eating, and help me to be more observant of like satiation cues when I'm actually satisfied. I have a number goal for this challenge, and it's really interesting. Normally, I don't even weigh myself. The scale is a very blunt instrument. There have been times when I'm gaining muscle and losing fat, and the scale isn't moving, right? So measurements are better, pictures are better. But I'm with the workouts that I'm doing right now. I'm doing strength training 2 days a week. I'm doing mobility 1 day a week. I'm doing Legree, which is like Pilates on speed. No, I don't know. It's actually very slow Pilates, very intense. I find it really good for building muscle, but like more specifically, retraining my body how to use muscles together to hold me up. Because I work at a desk for many hours every day, I'm looking at a screen. I had lost, I was just forward hunched, low back pain, weak core, typical like office laptop monkey issues. So with Legree, like learning how to engage my lats and hold my body up, and then having my hips, my pelvis tilt backwards to like support that core engagement. I didn't learn that. I don't know. Legree was really important to just sort of like get those muscles to fire together at the same time so that I was fully supported. And I do a lot of walking. So lots of movement, enough as like, given that I'm in perimenopause, I'm not going to the gym every day or lifting weights every day. I'm giving time between the weightlifting sessions for the muscles to rebuild. Okay, so I feel like my movement is pretty good for a modern day person. I do have this part of me that wishes that I had a different job so that I could move more, but that's like our modern life, and there's nothing stopping me from doing 5 minutes of exercise every hour throughout my workday. So that's on me to try to move more. But like for the average American, I have a good amount of movement in my week already, and that's like on autopilot. I have a trainer. I sign up for classes so I don't miss them. I don't walk every single morning, but I do walk most mornings unless I have like an early call. Sometimes if I have an early morning work call, I just take it on my walk if I don't have to be on video and I don't have to talk much. So I'm going to try to keep this movement going, and then hope that really focusing heavily on the diet with my energy, but not with my mental load, because it's just eating the same things. I hope that will give me some significant results in 30 days. I will need to supplement. I'm already doing like, what is it? The fish oil. I need to get some magnesium. Vitamin D, I should probably get some. I am outside a decent amount for an American laptop remote worker, but I could do more. So I should also supplement with vitamin D. And this is for 30 days. I would not do this for a long period of time because of my hormones. They're in flux. It's perimenopause. I don't want to stress out my body too much. I can definitely feel it when my body starts rebelling against whatever it is I'm doing. I mean, I'm even feeling it now because of this unhealthy pattern of eating I've been in for the last month. So I am trying to respect my body, not do anything too extreme, but I would like to see some changes over the course of the 30 days. I've worked too hard to like stall out or regress. And if I don't do something and I have another month of this stressful stuff, I will, I think, gain weight back, gain fat back. I want my clothes to fit. I want to sleep well. I want to like move forward in my life and make some progress. I worked really, really, really hard from January to May, and I saw good results. I lost like 8 pounds and built muscle, improved my core strength. I have a previous injury in my shoulder, and I did a lot of work to improve the mobility in my shoulder and strengthen it so that it doesn't partially dislocate. So I just was doing the work and seeing results. And I don't want, because I am like visiting family, have access to unhealthy foods, and have a very stressful workload. I didn't want to lose all of that progress. So I'm just taking a stand, doing this for 30 days and seeing kind of who I become. There was a time in my life previously where I did not eat unhealthy food. I wasn't tempted by it. I enjoyed eating healthy food more. So I know it's possible for me to be in that state and in that mental like fortitude. It's possible for me. I'm not doing it now, but I know that it's possible. So the goal that I have for this 30 days is a weight goal, and normally I don't do weight goals. I know I can maintain my muscle. The way I know that I can maintain my muscle is I will be doing all of the exercise that I do during my regular work week, including strength training, building muscle, and the diet is set up so you don't have to measure anything or track calories. But I did for this week pre-portion all of my protein. So I made my meat, chicken breast. I did ground meat that I can add to like a morning scramble, but there's no egg. And then I made some patties, like chicken or turkey patties. I really like those because you can just grab and go with them. They taste good. I eat those regularly. Anyway, so I have pre-portioned my protein to be sure that I'm getting my daily amount of protein. Actually, the same amount of protein, a high amount. It's like 180 grams of protein a day. I'm 5'10", so I'm a tall woman. People make these arguments like women are not small men. Well, not all women are small. So anyway, I am eating 180 grams of protein a day, at least. I'm not going to, I've like pre-portioned the broccoli and the carrots and the potatoes more or less. The potatoes is just a whole potato for right now. Just for the ease and like to see if I'm eating more or less than what I'm estimating a portion size would be. Just to like as this is week 1 to get a general assessment of like how much food I really feel I need to eat and if it's more or less. But I did that mostly for convenience, to make the friction as minimal as possible as I'm like getting ready for my day or preparing my breakfast or preparing my dinner. All I have to do is heat things up for now. If I want to get fancy and add spices or put things in an air fryer without any oil for right now, I could do that. But I don't have to. And that's why I've picked this. Is I can have a super busy work day. I can even have to work late into the night. I'm going to do my best to not have to do that. But if I have to, I don't have to think at all about food. I just have to go to the fridge and grab things out of it that are already in bags, pre-portioned. So it was actually quite a heavy lift to get everything. I like calculate how much I needed for the whole week, go out and buy it, pre-cook everything, and then wait for it to cool enough and like do all the pre-portions, put everything into MyFitnessPal so I knew what the portion sizes are. It's really hard because you can't just weigh it. You have to weigh the full amount before you cook it, then cook it, and then once it's cooled, you measure out, you divide the portion size by the number of servings. I don't know if anyone else has done this, but I find that very annoying and stressful. Like I can't just weigh my cooked ground meat. It has to be raw. So I have a container that's, let's say it's a pound, 16 ounces of ground turkey. It's 3 ounces or I guess 4 ounces per serving, pre-cooked. But then when you cook it, you might add water, it might be drier, so you can't control that. So you just have to cook the full pound, and then once it's cooked, you weigh the whole thing, and then you divide that weight by 4, and that's your portion size. All of that math I find super stressful and annoying, and I don't want to do it. So I just did it Saturday and Sunday, got everything cooked and packaged, and it's all ready to go. Big effort on my part. Hopefully it will pay off throughout this week. Watching some people, so I don't know if I said my goal weight, but I want to weigh 175 pounds by the end of this. And I know I will be retaining my muscle, like mostly. I should retain all of it, given my movement. And so that should be 5 pounds of fat that I lose. I have this weight in my belly that was from a very stressful period when I had just gotten a new job. 1 month after I got the job, the funding for the entire sector was paused, and then a lot of projects were terminated, and I thought for sure I was going to get fired. They moved me to part-time after 1 month of work, and then I was part-time for like 6 months. Oh, that was stressful. Nobody knew if they were going to have a job. So that first month, when I had first started the job, I would just like start working, and then I'd just have like a jar of Nutella that was in the cupboard, and I would go and just eat spoonfuls of Nutella, and that was like how I managed my stress. So I still have that Nutella like sitting around my belly, and the way I carry my weight, I have like a pretty flat stomach, and the weight goes onto the flanks, the love handles. I have some very lovey love handles. So I just, like, how can I say this? I have a general image of my body, the way that I have been for most of my life. And where I am right now doesn't feel like me, because I put on this additional weight with that stress and like perimenopause. It goes right to the midsection. So getting to 175 feels like getting back to me. Again, normally I don't have like weight goals, but for this particular 30-day challenge, I want to get this like fat that's not who I am or part of my identity. I just want it to go away. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how I view it over the course of this month. Watching the people who did this challenge on YouTube and some other people who did it, who like sort of copied it, a lot of people really struggled. And I can see why, like, it's boring. If people like myself have habits of using food to self-soothe, then you could like, it's not very soothing, like eating a piece of chocolate to like dig into some carrots. That can be hard. I'm like playing around with this idea of like, what if this wasn't hard? What if I didn't make it hard? I so want to put on clothes and have them look the way, like, have my pants not fit too snugly around my midsection because I have extra fat there. Like, I just want even like I wear a lot of workout clothes, and I just want the silhouette to not be so wide in the middle. So like, what if this was just easy, because every day is getting me closer to what I want. Every day I eat chocolate, it's actually getting me further away from what I want. So like, what if I find joy in eating this way for 2 weeks, because it will get me where I want to go, and it will get me there pretty fast, compared to like, I could do it the slow way, which is the way I normally do it. I eat like healthy foods. I eat 2% cottage cheese. I eat fat-free Greek yogurt. I eat vegetables. I like all this stuff. But I haven't been doing that this month because I'm stressed out. So I'm like just grabbing the cottage cheese and the ground turkey that I pre-prepped and not eating any vegetables. And I think that really messes up my like gut and serotonin and whatever. So I have, over the summer, really focused on having an identity of an athlete. I did martial arts, Muay Thai, like Thai kickboxing, other kinds of martial arts as well, over 20 years of my life. And doing that martial art was like a sacred practice for me. And I was very strong. And I, would travel and live in very dangerous parts of the world. And I did feel fear. But, walking down the streets in Rio de Janeiro as a woman, there's a way that you just don't feel fear that other women feel, because I know I can fight. Not that I would ever fight. Not that fighting would be a good choice. Running away is a good choice, right? But just there's like this inner confidence that you have when you know that you can protect yourself. So, years of stressful laptop work, raising 2 children, my priorities were no longer with like being an athlete, being a martial artist. But that is a part of me. So this summer I've been really focusing on that identity of an athlete. What does an athlete eat? How does an athlete move? How does an athlete think? How does an athlete dress? I bought all of these new workout clothes to really dress like the person that I want to be, like this athlete, a person who is strong, a person who has muscles that show out from under their, through their skin, whatever. That is the identity that I've been working on. So for this challenge, I'm thinking about stepping into the identity of a person who has a good relationship with food and doesn't use food to avoid feeling uncomfortable emotions. Someone who uses food for fuel, and loves food because it nourishes the body and gives you all the micronutrients that you need, all the macronutrients that you need for this complex, beautiful system to function. This is the identity I want to have in this challenge. And instead of waiting for that to come at the end, I am trying on that identity now, today, to see, to embody that skin. And maybe I can do this challenge without any of the suffering of the old me, because the new me, that identity I've put on, and I enjoy eating simple foods in portion sizes that nourish me. So yeah, am I okay with letting go of this old me? So we'll see. We'll see how things are on day 14. But that is what I am curious to live into right now as I'm starting. And I can't wait to see who I'll be at the end of this 30 days. Feel free to join in this experiment. I'll be posting regularly about how it's going, how I'm feeling, what's happening. And, no TMI. I'll just share it all. But hopefully this will help get me to an identity that I feel is closer to who I really am. So I'll let you know how it goes. Woot!